The Palisades fire and the Eaton fire, two of the most destructive wildfires in U.S. history.
Gotta get out of here.
Widespread heartbreak, anger, and uncertainty. But amid the devastation, signs of resilience and hope.
I was blown away just how much the community is pulling together and how amazing it truly is.
Communities across Southern California rallied from food and donation drives.
This is our city. Nothing's going to hold us down, especially not these fires.
To creating safe spaces and celebrating milestones together.
Everybody's really trying to lift each other up, and this really helps me, just have hope that we're gonna work through this.
Helping uplift each other and start healing and recovering.
Having this blank slate, it's scary, but it's also beautiful because I get to really start this brand new chapter.
Welcome to Rebuilding SoCal, our commitment to highlight Southern California solidarity and strength after the deadly LA fires. I'm Pat Harvey.
And I'm Rudabeh Shabazi. At CBS LA, you and your stories matter, and we stand with you as we rebuild SoCal.
We start with the latest rebuilding and recovery efforts in Pacific Palisades in Altadena.
Though the process is expected to take years, there are encouraging signs of progress. According to state data, more than 1,900 rebuilding permits have been issued, with thousands more being reviewed.
As survivors begin to pick up the pieces and rebuild their homes and lives, Cara Finstrom shows us how residents in Altadena are keeping each other's spirits alive by marking milestones in a unique way.
We celebrate not only the birth of a new home, but the enduring spirit that remains in us all.
Loved ones came to celebrate the rebuilding of the Knapp family's home. Victoria Knapp, Altadena's town council chair, is one of the thousands whose homes were destroyed. Friends and family shared cookies with frosting renderings as construction crews prepared for a new foundation.
If your journey involves other people, you want to bring them in on it.
Nick Arnzen, who also serves on the town council, lost his home too. He received one of the couple dozen invites.
Each one of these new homes that comes into place is us moving through the journey. So I wouldn't want to miss it.
We didn't want to either.
I cleared all of the sharp things.
8 months ago, Knapp brought us to her cul-de-sac where 15 of the 17 homes burned.
We got our ROE, our right of entry form, in early.
At the time, she had her town council hat on, encouraging neighbors still in shock to consider the Army Corps of Engineers debris removal.
And they'd be able to stage here and do all the homes at once.
But she paused as she began remembering what used to be.
My older son's bedroom, their bathroom was here. My younger son's bedroom was there. For the longest time, they never wanted to come up here.
But Knapp says her sons are strong and they're healing. They help with the time capsule being buried.
Their Christmas tree lane invitation, which is nice.
She also wants friends and neighbors to help shape part of their new home.
I got new river rocks and acrylic paint pens and had everybody create something, and then they will find a resting place in the new home's landscape.
Susie Niemer is a neighbor and works in Supervisor Catherine Barger's office.
A lot of the constituents we talk to don't really want to come back to empty neighborhoods. So when they see their neighbors are coming back, it gives them hope.
The proclamation she brought was inspired by the tattoo Knapp got after the fire. It depicts California poppies, which used to grow in her yard.
It's just beautiful, like that could be its own tattoo.
Knapp is comforted by moving forward, but
I don't have excitement. I have resignation.
She says the fire shifted something within her.
I will be leaving the council after 8 years, 2 years as chair in December. And my hope really is to find a role that is still front and center, leading the charge for the recovery and rebuilding.
She says when her new home and a stronger Altadena are both standing, she'll truly celebrate. But for now, she says laying the foundation feels good.
It's great that others can carry hope for you.
Cara Finstrom, CBS LA.
Okay, here we go.
Finally feeling right now like I am like a phoenix rising from the ashes and that there is hope.
A powerful moment of resilience in Pacific Palisades as more residents embark on a new chapter in their lives. The Bash family was one of the first to lose their home and the first to rebuild. Neighbors came to support them for the groundbreaking.
House by house, everybody's going to be coming back and into their homes and rebuilding not just the buildings, but also the soul of the community.
Just having this blank slate, it's scary, but it's also beautiful because I get to really start this brand new chapter.
For many, these groundbreakings are more than milestones. They're lifelines. At CBS LA, we've been dedicated to getting answers from the leaders in the wake of the fires.
We uncovered many stories of seniors left behind on their own. One example was 91-year-old Helen, who I met while she was living alone in her home without electricity and water. We also interviewed 73-year-old Gary, who was living on his burned-out lot in a tent until volunteers stepped in to help him. Census data shows about 1 in 5 Altadena residents were 65 years and older at the time of the Eaton fire.
I just think that they are in a lot of trouble. And we didn't know about that before this fire, that we had so many seniors that were going to be in a situation if a tragedy were to occur.
According to LA County data, hundreds of seniors were unaccounted for and could not be reached. Our Jasmine Veal went to Supervisor Catherine Barger's office to see what's being done.
You hear about these seniors fending for themselves after the Eaton fire. Could the county have done more? What more can the county do?
We can always do more. We can always do better. I make no bones about the fact that there were mistakes made, and I would even argue that I feel like our department needs to step up more and be present.
The county has since opened a replacement senior center in Loma Alta Park.
Strangers finding and saving each other. A 92-year-old Altadena woman is alive thanks to a pastor who followed his heart. They told Joy Benedict they believe it was divine intervention.
Oh my God. It was the night the firestorm rained down on Altadena.
We left everything.
Carlos Quintera and his granddaughter Ariana didn't evacuate.
Usually they come and knock on the door, or they'll go in the streets and say evacuate. And that's what he was waiting for, one of those. And that never came.
3 blocks away was Roby calling.
I decided I wasn't going anywhere. I was going to stay here and fight.
Strangers making the same decision on that ill-fated night to stay in their homes. Then they woke up to an uncomfortable silence.
Then I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was quiet, not one single siren.
And then they saw the glow.
We looked out through the window and we saw that the fire was really very close to where we were.
The Quinteros left, driving to Pasadena to this church where Carlos is the pastor. Miss Cawley made tea in the home she's lived in for 60 years.
I still kept sitting, hoping, well, this fire is not going to hit my house because I've been here too long.
And for some reason, Quintero couldn't stay put. He left the safety of this church feeling the pull to go back to the flames.
Grandpa! It was chaos. It was like a movie.
They had already heard their street had burned, but this pastor couldn't shake the feeling to keep driving.
He just kept going up and up.
Meanwhile, Miss Cawley finally realized she had to go.
The house next door was on fire. My car was on fire, which was in the driveway. That told me then I better get out of here. So I got my cane and started walking down the street.
Although she may not have known where she was headed, what she found was survival.
I'm the one.
Yeah, he points, and there was Miss Roby.
Yeah.
Just
barely walking out of her house.
With the cane.
You gotta go. We gotta go to the convention center. Let's go right now.
They hadn't stopped and saw me in the middle of the street raising the cane up. They never would have stopped.
Come on. Big step and hop in.
The Quinteros picked up Miss Cawley, helped her call her family, and drove her to the shelter.
She and her grandfather saved me.
And although how these strangers found each other on a dark and fiery road may seem like chance, these 3 are confident it was divine.
I was committed to seeing about my property and all that, but God had other plans.
That's what you call trust in the man upstairs.
Both families lost their homes that night. Miss Cawley is now living with her daughter out of state. The Quinteros plan to rebuild. And although they may never be neighbors again, their decisions to do all the wrong things put them all on the right path to save each other. Joy Benedict, CBS LA.
It was the bright blue symbol seen around the world. Pictures of this vintage Volkswagen bus went viral after it miraculously survived the Palisades fire. VW has been restoring the vehicle since the summer, and now our Elise Martinez has this update.
Megan Weinrob starts the engine of her newly restored VW bus for the first time in almost a year. Her 1977 microbus, nicknamed Azul, looks almost like new.
They just made it look so nice and clean. After everything she's been through, you could tell they put so much care.
Back in January, after the devastating wildfires tore through LA, this image became an unlikely beacon of hope for many. Weinrob's bright blue bus standing out amid the wreckage.
It was a lot because you see all the devastation, but seeing that bright blue bus on one side was incredible to see that she survived.
Azul looked okay from one side, but the other side was in bad shape. Busted windows, melted plastic, burnt paint, and heavy smoke damage. Volkswagen stepping in to help after seeing that now famous photo. VW technicians taking the classic bus and its engine down to its core and then building it back up.
It was very stressful to try and make sure that we were doing the right thing all along the way. We didn't want to change things, we just wanted to make them better, restore them, or actually improve where we could.
Even crafting a custom blue paint to match the original.
She's beautiful, literally beautiful.
Weinrob beaming as the technicians showed off their work, watching Azul take its first test drive down a familiar road, PCH.
I had no expectations. I detached from it and let go because I didn't want to have any high hopes, but this is better than I could imagine.
Weinrob will soon be behind the wheel again, but she hopes people will remember Azul as the little engine that could. Elise Martinez, CBS LA.
There's nothing like having more bunnies, you know, they do multiply.
Animal lovers around the world are stepping up to help Altadena's Bunny Museum rebuild. The museum used to house the world's largest collection of bunny items until the Eaton fire destroyed it. Since then, they've received donations from as far away as China.
The Northern California couple delivered their late aunt's 11,000-piece collection.
They drove down in a 20-foot utility truck filled, all the way filled.
It's wonderful.
The couple doesn't expect to reopen for another 3 years, but local artists are already volunteering to beautify the building.
Well, nourishing a community's recovery and harvesting hope.
The new nonprofit offering free produce.
I know.
Plus, she was facing death until she faced her rescuer instead. How CBS LA viewers helped bring together a woman and the fireman who saved her.
Out of chaos comes opportunity, you know, and I think a lot of us feel that way.
A beloved petting zoo finally back up and running. How the owners are rebuilding their lives.
I don't know how to thank a man that saved my life.
No, it's okay.
Oh.
She was fleeing the Palisades fire when her car got stuck and the flames moved in. Then out of nowhere, a fireman appeared to rescue her. The two later reunited thanks to CBS LA viewers, and Michelle Gili was there for the emotional event.
I know.
Malibu fire victim Patty Phillips thought she and her dog Coda were going to die when she got her car stuck on a boulder during her escape from Big Rock. That's until LA County Fire Captain Malcolm Dix appeared through blinding smoke and rescued them both.
I don't know how to thank a man that saved my life.
No, it's okay.
Oh.
There was a tearful reunion Friday at Malibu's Fire Station 70. Phillips couldn't wait to meet her hero. It happened in the same spot where Captain Dix left her after the daring rescue the night the Palisades fire began. Phillips was trapped up the hill. Her husband had made it down to PCH and begged for help.
And he's asking the firemen, you need to save my wife. And they we can't get up there. The power lines are down and we can't risk a fireman's life. And Malcolm, my hero forever, said, let's go.
It was like a hurricane with fire in it. That was all true. But the houses all around her were burnt and burning. There was a car over the side, their telephone poles down, live wires, boulders.
The pair raced through the flames into Big Rock in Captain Dick's truck and saved Phillips and Coda. She knew him only by his first name, Malcolm, and hoped she could find him and thank him in person one day.
This is such a wonderful story of Captain Dick's coming to the aid, not only of Patty, but of her beloved dog, Coda.
Shortly after my first story aired with Phillips, praising a firefighter she knew only as Malcolm, we tracked down Malcolm Dix, who was coordinating search and rescue for people missing in the Palisades fire. He and Phillips talked for a few minutes on a FaceTime call and said they'd connect when the situation improved.
Showing extraordinary bravery and putting his own life at risk, Captain Dix, without hesitation, raced to locate and rescue Patty and Coda, eventually bringing them to safety.
Captain Dix was recognized by county leaders and got plenty of hugs from the woman he saved.
I'm just doing my job. It's what we're paid to do. And I'm just glad she's safe. Her husband and dog are safe. I felt guilty for a while not knowing if her home had burned down or not, but her home is safe too. And sorry I had to run away.
He left me.
But there was a lot more things to do on the fire.
There really aren't words to tell someone who risked his life to save a person he didn't even know.
Michelle Geely, CBS LA.
A new nonprofit is helping Eaton fire victims stay healthy by offering them free locally grown produce.
Well, it's not only nourishing neighbors, but bringing them together. Here's Rena Nakano.
Paula Aspatia knows how to make anything taste exquisite, even something as simple as a salad.
That's good.
But she didn't get these fresh vegetables at her neighborhood grocery store in Alhambra. She drove 25 minutes to the Altadena Farmers Market.
Our mission was just bring healthy food to Altadena.
Executive Director Rafa Gass says in the last 12 years, the market went from neighbors casually trading garden crops to a real pop-up market, eventually transitioning into an online market where customers would pick up their goods once a week.
Thank you so much. Our most successful week, the pickup day was the day of the fire, and we lost everything.
The Eaton fire destroyed their warehouse. Gass and most of her volunteers also lost their homes.
The anxiety and the shock of everything that was happening, we had to do something with ourselves, so the week after we start all this.
They urgently sought out sponsors and wrote grants with one goal: provide fire victims with free, fresh vegetables.
Avocados, please.
Gass admits for the first few months it was chaos, but now they've officially become a nonprofit with an online voucher system.
They had to be living in the affected areas when the fire happened. They register one time, but they have to claim a voucher every time.
Aspatia never misses the bi-monthly distribution. After losing her home to the Eaton fire, she says the free veggies have become a lifesaver.
Celery, carrots, and I think this is a squash.
Aspatia tells me every time she goes to pick up her vegetables, she feels like she's part of the community again.
We know those people, those faces every time we went there. Our community, Altadena, Pasadena, it makes like the people get together.
That's why she makes the trip from her new rental in Alhambra. And these people from Monrovia, and this family from Glendale.
Everybody's really trying to lift each other up, and this really helps me, just have hope that we're gonna work through this.
One healthy, delicious meal at a time.
Thank you so much.
In Altadena, I'm Rena Nakano, CBS LA.
A much-needed boost for a small town paralyzed by the fires and mudslides. For months, Topanga Canyon was blocked off for most people because of road closures. That's when World Central Kitchen stepped in. The nonprofit, founded by celebrity chef Jose Andres, bought gift cards from impacted restaurants and then handed them out to locals for free at the farmers market.
We didn't have a lot of red tape. There was no forms. It just was help when you needed it. And the shape that the help came just also created a lot of goodness.
What that allowed us as a business to do was, get a little bit of revenue in a time when it's really quiet, but it also introduced a bunch of new customers to us.
World Central Kitchen has purchased more than $500,000 in gift cards from restaurants affected by the fires. Girls uplifting other girls.
The temporary relief effort that turned into a permanent safe haven. Plus, the local college grad branching out to preserve the history tied to trees lost in the fires.
And how sleep saved an 80-year-old and her 60-year-old friend at the peak of the Eaton fire. Scars of the Eaton fire aren't just measured in homes lost, but also in the trees that are no longer there.
And Jasmine Veal spoke to a college grad working to make sure those historic roots run deep.
This is all that's left of our grandma tree, our treehouse tree right here.
Jeff Baker thought his giant camphor tree in front of his Altadena home would outlast him.
You know, I mean, just like it really just hits home when you can actually put your hand on her still and realize, how massive, and she felt unshakable.
This towering 100-year-old tree was the reason he and his wife bought this house on Palm Street 17 years ago. During the COVID lockdowns, Jeff built a tree house with his sons in its branches. From afternoon ukulele sessions to secret ice cream dates with his kids, it was his happy place.
It wasn't just wood and nails up there in that tree house. It was the memories of being together with my boys in the lockdown times of our refuge.
A refuge he watched burn, along with most of the other homes on his street in the Eaton fire.
It was an emotional hit.
We had swings on.
The loss led Jeff to Mona Patterson, a Chapman College journalism grad who was collecting the stories of people and their trees destroyed in the fire.
Literally every block in Altadena probably has a tree story.
The idea took root after Mona lost her own family landmark in the fire, a mulberry tree that burned up along with her family's house on Raymond Avenue.
These roots here is where we would build little fairy houses. This tree was such an integral part of my childhood and growing up. I wonder, and I know some of my neighbors probably have the same story.
So she started documenting the stories of lost citrus trees and fig trees, all to make a record of Altadena's green legacy, a treehouse lost to the flames, but these oaks still standing watch.
Thank you to her. I think this is because of this tree is why we still have a house.
Already planting new roots.
The next tree house is going to be theirs to build.
And rebuilding not just their homes, but their lives. Jasmine Veal, CBS LA.
2 desert tortoises captured the hearts of many after they were the only survivors from the Eaton Canyon Nature Center. Clyde is roughly 60 years old. Clementine is 80. So how did they survive? Well, they fell asleep. They spend their deep sleep months in a noise and temperature-controlled room and a docent naturalist's home. During the fire, they were already there, but when that volunteer had to be evacuated, Clyde and Clementine had nowhere to go. So despite being 5 months pregnant, she took them in.
It's really nice to be trusted with them and be able to care for them, and then with the hopes of them returning and myself returning to Eaton Canyon.
Well, both tortoises have since had their vet checks and split their time between Estrella's home and the San Dimas Nature Center.
A beloved family-owned petting zoo destroyed in the Eaton fire is back in Altadena. The White Chavez family saved all their animals, but their home and farm burned down. For months, they went back and forth to San Diego, where the animals found refuge in different places.
To be separated, it didn't feel that nice, but then after, when we put them here, it was really nice because I can actually hang out with them.
It's therapeutic, and having that job throughout this whole process to care for this menagerie has actually been a gift.
The family has partially reopened the farm for free community healing days.
That's so cool. Well, coming up, a loss that became an inspiration.
A woman who worked in homeless services for decades found herself homeless in the aftermath of the flames.
Nobody wanted to be bothered with my problems about being homeless.
Why she says the challenges have also been a revelation for her.
And how one teen's efforts to temporarily help fire victims turned into a permanent mission. Many lessons continue to be learned after so much loss.
Lori Perez spoke to a woman who says losing her family's home changed her personally and professionally for the better.
At 3:15 in the morning, the sheriffs knocked on my door.
On the morning of January 8th, Mirza Sanchez and her husband were among the thousands who fled their homes as the Eaton fire raged.
We never thought that it was going to come to the houses.
In a matter of hours, they lost their community.
Altadena is very special for me.
And the house that had been in her family for generations.
I realized that I didn't have a home anymore. Yeah, we were homeless.
For weeks, they slept in her husband's car. They showered at a gym. They were suddenly without the very basics.
Being homeless, and to me, that was like, hard.
Other fire victims were going through the same, but here's what's different. For 3 decades, Sanchez has worked in homeless services, the last year at Housing Works, a provider of permanent supportive housing. She says the fear and stress she felt those first months bridged a disconnect she admits she had, despite all the compassion she brought to her work.
In my head always was like, maybe they don't want to work. Maybe, they don't want to pay their bills sometime.
That quickly changed as she saw how even as someone with friends and family, with resources, and knowing exactly who to call and where to go for services, it was a lot to deal with.
Nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to be bothered with my problems about being homeless.
The Sanchezes have now found a new home, but she says their challenges have been a revelation.
Being a homeless is not a choice. You don't choose to be on the streets without nothing. Something happened that you're in the streets.
Housing Works executive director says the Sanchez's story is painful but powerful.
They keep going, regardless of the barriers in front of them, and they give hope.
And as Mirza returns to work, her loss is now her inspiration.
I don't want anybody to be homeless.
Lori Perez, CBS LA.
From a clothing drive to a permanent safe haven.
A celebration in Old Town Pasadena that's all about uplifting girls. CBS LA was there as the Altadena girls officially opened their expanded center on East Colorado Boulevard and North Marengo Avenue. The 11,000 square foot space offers free clothing and beauty products and hosts community events.
I was nervous at first. I literally had so much fun. Like, this was just such a great time of community, and we had so many amazing visitors. I'm just so grateful. We've been working so hard for this.
The Altadena girls originally started off as a clothing drive after the Eaton fire. Since then, they've given out more than 1 million items.
And we can't forget about the young men affected. Altadena Boys also quickly formed in January, handing out essential donations. The group's focus later shifted to recovery efforts, opening a safe space for kids and teens to meet with mentors or get the help they need.
Just the name itself gives people like my age, boys in general, like, oh, there's something out there for me. And I don't have to be the one always pouring, and somebody's actually pouring back into me.
Shorter says Altadena Boys is helping fill a void not only for him, but for others in the community. Most of the holiday shopping has passed, but it's never too late to support local businesses or get belated gifts.
Well, Rena Nakano takes us inside one legacy business that turned its survivors' guilt into motivation to uplift neighbors.
talk about having a legacy in Altadena.
2026 will have 100 years of continual service.
First opened in 1926, Webster's Community Pharmacy began as a general store, selling medicines, holiday cards, even liquor. It survived several wars, COVID, and most recently, the Eaton fire.
Survivor's guilt was first and foremost.
When Meredith Miller and her husband Michael took over the business in 2015, they significantly downsized, focusing mostly on the pharmacy. But after the fire, the Millers felt the need to live up to their legacy.
We saw a need for people to come to a place where they feel comfortable, where they have some kind of feeling of belonging and normalcy. And that was Webster's Pharmacy.
Just 6 weeks later, Webster's was back open as a general store again, selling hardware, resurrecting their post office.
This is the Altadena section.
They even dedicated the front of their store to feature works by local creatives. Everything from clothes, hats, bags, candles, signs, and art.
I was displaced for quite a while.
Local artist Kenny Arts Davis says this portable paint set was the only thing he grabbed before his home of 38 years burned down. He's since been using it to paint the aftermath of Altadena.
It was definitely therapeutic to be back.
His collection, Beauty for Ashes, which features the before and after look at Altadena's legacy businesses, is now being sold at Webster's.
Citizens of Altadena, Pasadena, people that don't go into galleries necessarily, but now they can come into a pharmacy and see artwork. And so that's exciting.
And with the proceeds from the local merchandise here, the Millers decided to pay it forward again.
But the fire didn't take everything.
With the help of many of the local creatives, the Millers launched an ad campaign showcasing the resilience of surviving businesses. The message, be a part of Altadena's recovery and legacy by shopping local this holiday season.
This business that's going to be 100 years old are really part of the fabric of recovery. Just seeing that we're okay and give other businesses and community members some strength.
In Altadena, I'm Rena Nakano, CBS LA.
A burst of color and a message of resilience.
The new mural put together by a coastal community. Plus, an Altadena woman finally gets to meet the out-of-state hero who saved her home.
And untouched by the Palisades fire, the hidden treasure bringing people together more than ever.
What you did here stopped that fire from going further.
Appreciation among the ashes for an Altadena woman. Jasmine Veal shows us the emotional meeting between her and the fireman who saved her home.
Complete chaos.
This is what Arizona Battalion Chief Rich Jones saw when he rolled up to this street in Altadena during the height of the Eaton fire in January.
Power lines were breaking from the top. Everywhere you look was just complete destruction.
Houses already burning, embers flying, and almost no water pressure. But in that moment, Jones and his team made a call.
And so we did, and we stopped right in front of Betty's house, right on the corner there, and there's where we took action.
That house belonged to Betty Comas, a recently widowed senior who barely got herself and her dog out January 7th.
And that notification said, evacuate, get out now. It was a nightmare.
She had no idea her garden hose and a battalion chief from out of state were what stood between her and total loss.
Used to be a garden hose here somewhere, and that's what ultimately helped us save it.
Months later, Jones returned to the neighborhood to finally meet Betty.
Have not seen her.
And for the first time, she got to hug the man who led the effort to save her home. The reunion was made possible by the Hope Crisis Response Network. This organization and its volunteers had heard Betty's story as they are helping restore her smoke-damaged roof and walls.
We saw so many different things that
she needed help with.
Hope Crisis founder and CEO Kevin Cox says Betty is just the first. They will build 100 homes here in Altadena over the next 5 years at no cost to the homeowners.
We're all about community. We want to make sure that families stay in their community. This is where they were raised.
Oh, hi. Gratitude, even in a neighborhood scarred by flames.
I really do believe what you did here stopped that fire from going further.
Where it's these small moments and a lot of helping hands that are helping this community rise again.
I have joy.
Jasmine Veal, CBS LA.
Sharing beautiful stories through art. There's a new mural on Temescal Canyon Road across from Palisades Charter High School, thanks to a trio called the Goodness Tour. Yes, they've created art like this in disaster zones around the world. And this time, they recruited locals to help them complete this vision of hope and strength.
We come there, we bring the arts, and we've learned that it's a real healing modality for people that are going through extreme adversity.
Colorful and vibrant and beautiful and hopeful to focus attention on, as opposed to just destruction.
The group also created this mural in Altadena on Woodbury Avenue. Well, during tough times, it can be helpful to lend a sympathetic ear.
But when a Disney blogger learned of losses at an elementary school, she donated dozens.
Sorry, that was not what I was expecting.
Plus, the magical discovery Irina Nakano stumbled upon in the rubble.
No one or any circumstance will steal my joy.
And a music teacher's unwavering strength despite losing her home twice. A local music teacher is striking a chord with her inspiring strength. She lost her home in the Palisades fire, and it's the second time that's happened to her. Hunter Sowers sat down with her and asked what helps her stay positive.
The song talks about different stages of life and the seasons. They go round and round.
Michael and Heather Lyle have been on this carousel before.
It was like, this can't be happening again.
As a longtime music instructor, Heather's given lessons to people in the Palisades for decades. Her family relocating here after losing their home in 1993 to the old Topanga fire.
I didn't think I'd find my paradise again, and I found it there.
This is what's left of their Palisades paradise. Years of memories, marred and melted yet again by flames.
The first 5 days I was just in shock.
They were able to grab pieces of that paradise.
That's everybody who attended our wedding.
Along with 3 photos.
I grabbed, this is my brother and I when we were really little, and he's died.
A ukulele and 2 guitars.
And my brother got it for me.
One with a very special significance.
It is the one connection that I have left to him, really. I don't need a photo, I have him right here on this guitar.
Her next step is trying to get back to doing what she loves, teaching. The studio she was weeks away from moving into also burned. I asked how she continues to find the strength to keep moving.
Well, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I've had this one thing in my head since then, which has been no one or any circumstance will steal my joy.
The Lyles say they are determined to rebuild.
And I have to say, it gets harder and harder.
Determined to stay on the carousel, to keep singing.
We're not victims, we are survivors.
We can only look behind from where we came. And go round and round and round in the circle again.
Hunter Sowers, CBS LA.
Disney fans stepped up when they found out a fellow fan and elementary school teacher needed help. Elizabeth Lamb's classroom at Palisades Charter Elementary was filled with Disney gear, but it was destroyed in the Palisades fire. So when a popular Disneyland blogger found out about Lamb, she called her social media followers to get a special donation started.
And we hear that someone who is just like us lost everything. It's immediate. It's, oh, I have stuff.
The kids and the parents both have been very thankful and appreciative that the communities come together in a wonderful way.
But the story doesn't end there. When Arwina Nakano went to the school to get video for this story, she saw something red in the rubble. It turns out it was a piece of Lamb's Mickey Mouse pencil box. Rena returned it to her, and with it, a little hope. A small item holding big meaning for a dad and his son.
Yes, they lost their home, but there's one thing that didn't burn. That's raising their spirits, and Luz Delia Caballero tells us.
So we're at a trail literally a couple hundred yards from our house.
Those are beautiful flowers. A now vibrant path winding through these Palisades hills still shows signs of when the Palisades fire tore through the area.
Doesn't even look like there was a fire here, huh?
I can tell there was. But something remarkable survived the fire. Something that's more than just wood and metal. Something filled with heart.
What do you see right there? Is that Skull Rock?
Yeah, it's Skull Rock.
You think the treasure is going to be inside?
Hopefully. 3 years ago, Blake Mallon and his son Grayson brought this treasure chest to Skull Rock, not filled with gold, but with something even more valuable, a chance for strangers to connect.
There it is. We hid a physical treasure chest inside the eye of what is known as Skull Rock. It's not something that you can see unless you crawl through a hole and look to the left.
Dozens of hikers stumbled upon the chest, and many left behind pieces of themselves, messages of love, hope, grief, and healing. A tiny community built through anonymous gestures of kindness.
They left notes like life lessons, like always be nice.
January 7th. May the wind blow gently. That's crazy for January 7th. On your back.
I had no clue if I was gonna make it or not. Nothing burned.
And then it jumps to 122. The fire may have destroyed the Palisades, but not your box. And then all of a sudden you got people after the fire finding their way to this chest, leaving amazing messages. Look at best wishes. Engine 341 from Bend, Oregon.
To them, the chest placed near ground zero of the Palisades fire is now more than just a symbol of kindness. It's a symbol of resilience, of hope, rising from ash.
There's just been something about this place that just brings the best out of people.
And they've decided to leave the chest there just as it's always been, waiting for the next hiker, the next message,
Never stop adventuring.
the next story.
This is my very first hike since finding out I beat cancer. One thing that has come from the ashes is a realization of what a fire can never burn. Community, love, and connection can't be burned.
I challenge you guys to come find my treasure chest. In Pacific Palisades.
Should we head back?
Yeah. Luz Delia Caballero,
CBS LA. A beloved holiday tradition makes a big comeback.
How volunteers came together to bring Altadena's Christmas tree lane back to life. And the duo working to help survivors heal this holiday season, one ornament at a time.
Christmas Tree Lane has been a beloved part of the holiday season in Altadena for more than a century. Much of it was damaged in the Eaton fire, but this year it made its big comeback. Elise Martinez met with volunteers as they worked to make sure it shined bright again.
Right here, one line.
Volunteers are stringing up thousands of lights and a little bit of hope here on Altadena's Christmas Tree Lane.
All right, can you power this one up?
Making sure every bulb burns bright and every massive cedar tree lining Santa Rosa Avenue is ready for the holidays, when this nearly 1 mile stretch turns into a winter wonderland, as it has every year since 1920.
Let it swing, and you want to get it over top of those branches.
Members of the Christmas Tree Lane Association say the lights were still hanging on the trees when the Eaton fire broke out in January.
When the fires happened, we were totally thinking everything's gone. Amazingly, these trees are fire retardant and they survived the fires.
The trees were still standing, but many homes burned to the ground, including Warren Skidmore's home of 20 years.
It's indescribable how hard it is to lose absolutely everything apart from the clothes we had on.
Despite losing it all, Skidmore and his daughter Tessa are volunteering on the lane again this year, making sure this beloved 105-year-old tradition continues.
The community is still here, the heart is still beating, and this is evidence of that.
Volunteering on the lane really means a lot to us because me and my sister, we used to come here a lot when we were kids, every year for Christmas. And so I think bringing that magic to other people and younger generations has been really important.
All right, guys, big loops. Come on, let's pick these up, get them ready to be hung.
A chance for everybody to get together at Christmas time and the holidays and kind of celebrate that we're still here.
Still here and finding a way to illuminate the path forward. In Altadena, Elise Martinez, CBS LA.
Meanwhile, 2 women who lost their homes in the Eaton fire made it their mission to try and make spirits bright for those hoping to heal this holiday season. They started Ornaments for Altadena, where anyone can donate ornaments, menorahs, and kinaras for fire survivors.
Even if these, come from other places and they're not the one that your mother handed down to you, they still mean something to somebody, and they sent that with that love and with care.
Spreading a little holiday cheer, one ornament at a time.
Thanks for watching Rebuilding SoCal. I'm Rutabaga Shabazi.
And I'm Pat Harvey. Though much was lost this year, we will rise and shine again. And together, we will rebuild SoCal.